Homeschooling is getting more and more popular. In times past, it was thought that only those who could not afford an education or schooling, the conventional school type, did not send their children to school. But even now, even the well-to-do families are now engaging in homeschooling, and it even yields excellent results.
Yes, it is believed that homeschool children do well. As a result, universities and colleges are welcoming them. They're also known for being independent, reliable learners, as well as employees.
And as of 2016, 2.3 million kids in the United States were actually engaging in homeschool. And of that figure, 83% were actually whites. Then 5% of those were blacks. We also had about 7% being Hispanics. And 2% of that figure are Asians and Pacific Islanders.
Yes. Home education or homeschooling is the education of children in the comfort of their homes, and is usually instructed by the parents or a tutor. But the question we are going to be asking today is, how can this be effective or successful in Nigeria? She
remains Larry Nicodemus, and I'm Walter Victor. This is Still Vibe Cafe, and when we come back, we shall be dissecting the show proper. And welcome back. It's still the Vibe Cafe. Laren,
yes.
On this issue, when you have kids, that
yes.
is, would you homeschool your child?
No, I don't think I would. I don't think I'll do that.
Okay, but statistics shows that it's actually effective.
Well, the statistics states that 83% of these cases are white and just 5% black. So I think it works better for the white folks than the black. Don't you think so?
No, so now you're telling me it has to do with skin color.
Not necessarily. Okay, but that's not even why I'm concerned. Okay, I'm concerned because I'm looking at some basic factors.
Which are?
For instance, the financial aspect, right? If you're doing homeschooling for your kids, it means that if both parents obviously can't work, they can't be career parents. Okay? So one parent has to stay back in the house, means it's going to take a financial toll on the family.
Now I get where you're going. When you're talking about financial toll and then your stance, I now understand, because at this point, when you're married, eventually, your husband ideally wouldn't want to be the one staying at home, and now you're already taking this stand. It hasn't gotten to that point.
I don't. That's what I'm even thinking about. So we need to do well as a family. Financial.
Okay. Let's set.
Yeah.
I will still come to the aspect of finances, but let's set that aside. Say you're married. When you guys are discussing, who would you say should stay at home?
I don't know. When we get to that bridge, we'll cross it. But another thing I'm concerned about is the issue of isolation.
Okay.
Having your kids homeschooled, I fear, would have a social effect on the children. They wouldn't be able to socialize eventually when they go out in the world. You can be a part of the conversation. All you need to do is go to our social media platforms at Vibe Cafe Show and drop your comments or send us a DM and we would respond to that. But before that, we'll go on a quick break. When we get back, there's a special guest in the house by the name of Zainab, and she is going to educate us on homeschooling is all about. Yes. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Thank you for joining us. It's Still Vibe Cafe, and with us here is Mrs. Z Obi. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Mrs. Z Obi is a homeschooling consultant who helps work and stay-at-home moms develop skills and potentials of their kids, helping them maximize them as they grow. She has also authored 2 books. The first one she authored is My Adorable Finger, and the next is The Rich Church Rat. She also has a platform which is titled Think and Create Kids, and she's also married and has 3 musketeers at home, 1, 2, and 5. Those are the ages. So, talking about your platform, Think and Create Kids, what's it all about?
Okay, it's a platform where we help children to maximize their creative and cognitive abilities. Okay, we use reading, writing, and also art.
Okay. Yeah. So, based on this homeschooling, what do you work with? When I say what do you work with, I'm talking about the curriculum. Do you have a curriculum aside, or do you follow the Nigerian curriculum?
Okay, what I do is after getting our goals down, I go to source for materials that will help us accomplish those goals. Okay, do I work with the Nigerian curriculum? No, we don't. My children are in their early childhood years, so what I do majorly is stimulation of their brain, their fine motors, their gross motors, and also helping them become lifelong learners. Okay, we also do a lot of training for positive habits. Okay, we know that those things are the things that actually make people successful in the future. So they just have to have positive habits, and it's good to get them when they are younger.
Okay, so don't you think homeschooling tends to make a child antisocial?
Okay, no. There's this myth that homeschool children are not social, but that's so far from the truth. Okay, because one of the reasons why parents homeschool their children is socialization. Okay, and that brings me to the definition of socialization. Socialization is actually the process by which a person, especially a child, is being made to behave in a way that is acceptable to their culture and society. Now, who is in the best place to teach that? Is it their peers or their parents? Okay, their parents. So, and that's why you see in advanced countries, you see them start school 6, 7, 5, you know, because they expect that those social skills must have been learned from their homes.
Okay, but the problem I have with this is even abroad, which you're making comparison to here, for you to attain a college degree or get acceptance into a college, you need some form of grade level in socialization. So when we are talking about socializing here, we're not talking about maybe of course that starts at home, but then you need more than just this once you get at home. You need to socialize with basically your peers too. So how do you strike a balance here?
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Until you know exactly what to say and how to say it. It's not just about mingling with people or staying with people, but you have to know how to mingle with them.
Okay.
What to say, grace and courtesy, good manners. You have to learn those, what to say and what not to say.
Okay.
So the best people to do that are parents, actually. But it's just that these days, most of the work is being pushed to school. Even laying your children's bed, some people feel school should actually teach that. Okay, yes.
You know, most of it now, because of the environment or society we find ourselves in, it's most of the burden have been placed on teachers and the schools to teach the child most of these things we are supposed to get from home. Like when I was growing up in school, I learned majority of the things from my friends. You hear kids talking about, mommy, my friends, or they don't even say my friend, they directly give a name that you don't even know, and you're like, who is? And it's like, he's my friend in school, he said this. Those are things they learn from there. But when you are homeschooled, the only other classmates you probably might have who is not even in your grade level is probably your younger brother or sister. So this tends to become a problem. You've taught them what, you understand, how to socialize, but then who do they practice these with?
Okay, yeah. Homeschool children do a lot of field trips, outings, like I take my children to the mall. I give them the opportunity to go at it, maybe to pay for it, you know. So they go out a lot. My children go for fellowship, they go to Sunday school, so there are a lot of places that they can actually exercise that. And who says that sitting behind a chair in a classroom is cut out from the real world? Is now the socialization.
Well, to an extent, I think you've given me the answer I was actually looking for. You take on those field trips, give them the avenue to mingle with other kids, and then there are some people that want to, or some parents that want to homeschool their kids, but then there's a deficit in education, whether the parent doesn't have or is not well equipped with the right tools or the knowledge to pass on to the child. At this point, what do you think such a parent can do?
Okay, there's room for training. Okay, like that's what I do. Okay, so the parents can be trained, and also there are lots of resources to give support, lots of resources, and also online schools. If you think that you want your children to actually be taught by somebody else, okay, from your home, there are online schools. And also homeschooling is not just about only the parents. You can hire tutors to come home for particular subjects that you think they should be taught by somebody else.
Okay. You talked about the online school. How does that work?
Okay, just you register and you pay your money.
Okay.
And your child start learning.
Okay. Okay, so at what point do you transcend from being homeschooled to the conventional school, or can you continue from that to into the secondary school level as well?
Yes, at any point a parent chooses to. Okay, because you actually have bodies that actually give certificates or transcripts to children.
Okay.
Okay, all a homeschooling parent anywhere in the world needs to do is to send their assessment, things they've done to those bodies. So those bodies will send back the transcript. So anytime the child wants to do something further his education, he can actually do that.
Okay, this is the first time I'm hearing that. Is there such a body, or what is the body here in
Actually,
Nigeria?
we don't have in Nigeria. Homeschooling is just coming up. Okay, so but I hope that in the future we'll be able to have something like that. But presently, you have them in America. Those are the ones I work with. I know about. Okay.
Okay, so presently, if you place your child who is being homeschooled now side by side with that's attending a conventional school, how do you think he would fare in comparison?
Okay, it depends on what you're testing for, because we don't do conventional things.
Okay.
Okay, so, but I believe that they can, if you're testing them based on those things that they are learning.
And you've mentioned homeschooling just starting off in Nigeria. So for now, do you think it can actually thrive in Nigeria?
Sure, it can. Why it can is because our educational system is quite low. Okay, so everybody knows that. It's something that it's known. All right, so but homeschooling gives you that alternative, gives parents that alternative to give your children the best education that you want without breaking the bank.
You remember there is this notion, especially in this part of the world, that if you keep your child at home, it means you don't have money. How do you break that boundary? Because yes, it's true. Most parents, people have the idea that once you keep your child at home, you don't have the money to send the child to school. Except they see the signs of affluence, then they know, okay, probably I just decided to keep my child at home. So how do you break barriers with parents who are still having this stereotype?
Okay, that can not be true anyway, because homeschooling you spend money because you have to buy resources. But the good thing about those resources that you're buying, they are so expensive. But the good thing about them is that all your children can use them. And also, you can also resell when you're done with them. Because children's things, like, you know, are hot cake. So people will surely buy them off.
We've been hearing much and many about this homeschooling stuff. Can you just typically Nigerian style, give us the advantages and disadvantages of homeschooling?
All right, I'll start with the disadvantages, okay? And I'll ask this rhetoric question. Is there any disadvantage with education? The answer is no. So that's the same thing with homeschooling. There's no disadvantage, but the way it's being done, if you don't do it rightly, then you might see some disadvantages. But homeschooling itself does not have a disadvantage.
What about the advantages?
Okay, the advantages, okay. First of all, if a parent needs to relocate, needs to travel and all that, it helps, okay, because you don't need to remove your children from school or stall their education. Okay, they keep on learning as you go. Okay, so like when I was growing up, my dad used to be in the force, and that entailed us moving from one state to the other. And if we were homeschooling, it would have been a lot easier for my parents, because it got to a point that we were made to stay away from him because he was moving very often. Okay, maybe within 2 months they are already transferring somewhere else. So it was getting often.
I'm already buying into this idea of homeschooling. It's in the near future, it's possible that it's something that becomes a trend. But then, what happens when I'm working now, and then my wife also? Because you stated earlier that it's something that is an option for those who are working from home or who are staying at home. But what if I have a wife that works and I'm also working, and I still want this same process, my child to be at home getting his education? Can that work for me? Or how does that work?
Yes, but there will need to be someone to supervise it.
Okay.
The child can do online learning, distant learning, like I said before.
Okay.
So they can learn from home just using the internet, okay, for their classes. And the beauty about this online learning is that those people give you the transcripts.
Okay.
So that's another way.
You've written 2 books now. The first, The Rich Church Rats, and the next one is
My Adorable Fingers.
Yes, the first one is very catchy, really, The Rich Church Rat, because the idea I usually have is a church rat is usually poor.
Right.
So what's motivated the name, or brought about the name for that?
Rich Church Rat is a financial intelligence book for kids. Okay, it's a literature, just a story. Okay, but it's driving home financial intelligence principles in it. Okay, then the second one is My Adorable Fingers, and it's for age 1 to 6. Okay, and it's teaching them about their fingers, what they are called.
Okay. When I heard about the 2 of them, I was actually thinking they are homeschooling literatures.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, you can use them in the homeschool.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. You can.
Okay. Just in case people need to reach you or follow you, do you have a handle or a website people could reach you on?
Okay. My Instagram handle is ZOB. My Twitter handle is ZOB. My website is zob.com. And you can also reach me. You can send me an email on zob1@gmail.com.
Well, it's been nice having you on the show, really. But I'd like to ask one question. What's your vibe?
Love.
It does radiate from you. And I think as a homeschooling teacher, that is one thing you must have. It's still the Vibe Cafe show. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Vibe Cafe. This is the fashion segment, and today in the studio I have someone talented, creative, and she's absolutely amazing, gorgeous. She is the principal designer at Asher Smith Designers. Even though she studied in University of Ibadan, she has been in this fashion business for over a decade. She said she acquired her fashion skills from online courses, books, as well as learning from other designers. In 2012, a fashion school was awarded or ranked as one of the top 10 fashion schools in Lagos by City People magazines. She has been featured in a whole lot of magazines and newspapers alike. All right, ladies and gentlemen, in the studio with me today is none other than Mrs. Tinuke Ojikutu.
You got that one.
How are you doing?
I'm awesome.
Yes,
and you?
I'm good. You look absolutely stunning. I love the dress.
Thank you so much.
I love what I'm seeing. What's this? What do you have for us today? What's this outfit?
Okay, I have a pencil dress.
Okay.
With some detail along the neckline.
Yeah.
It's actually a twist flipped,
Okay.
you know, over twice. And then we have this exaggerated sleeves made with the fabric also and a touch of organza.
Okay.
And then with all the blinks.
Wow. This is... Please. Viewers, can you see this? Beautiful creature coming from a creative designer. So what kind of body type do you think can fit into this outfit?
I don't think there's any exception.
Okay.
With the year or the age of body magic, anybody can fit
Body
in.
magic? What do you mean by that?
All those shapers, you know.
Oh, okay.
So anybody can fit into it.
Even me?
Yes.
Because I'm a bit concerned about the neckline. Would that suit me?
Yes, it will. Okay, like the flip, you know, it looks ruched along the neckline. And for people with, shall I say, medium bust line, this gives them more volume along that area.
Okay.
Yes.
So how can we accessorize this dress?
Okay. For this dress, little is okay because it has, you know, it's blinked all over. So I'll just say take a killer shoes, especially the one with a very bright color because of the color of the fabric. So take a killer shoes like the one she's wearing a red pointies. So with that, and then you could do your bracelets and your wristwatch. I think with that, then you don't need anything along the neckline. You need the attention to be on the detail along the neckline.
Like they say in fashion, less is more, right? So I think it's absolutely wonderful. So where can someone wear this outfit to? Okay.
Let's start with wedding. I would say if you don't want to do the typical, you know, one bed with the gilly thing and all that. You just want to keep it simple and classy. Then you could wear this, and like we've talked about the shoes and all that. And then with this lovely fascinator that we have here, you know, can I?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. You know, you just fit it in somewhere here.
Okay.
And, you know, you're good to go.
This is looking nice. I wish I can go home. After the interview, can I go home with this?
Yes, you can.
But I think it's bigger than me, so you just make one of
That's why I said you can go with it. Thank you.
All right.
And then, you know, with beautiful, what's it called? Hair, you could have your braids or the Brazilian, you know, instead of tying the gilly.
Okay.
And also for Sunday service, you know, for church people, this is an ideal wear.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, it's an amazing dress. I wish I could have
you.
it. I know you won't want to give it to me, but you can't be in a vibe cafe and not have a vibe. So what's your vibe?
Okay, for today, my vibe is joy.
Oh, okay. That's an interesting one. Why do you say that?
I think just, you know, earlier today when I woke up, it was just like being alive, you know, and being opportuned, will I say, to be alive. I've just been reveling in that sense. So I think that's why I said it's joy.
All right. Thank you so much for coming to Vibe Cafe.
Thank
Thank you so
you.
much for talking to me. I've had a blast. I wish you'd come back again some other time, yeah?
Definitely.
Okay. All right. Thank you so
Thanks
much.
for having me too.
You're welcome. We've come to the end of this particular segment. I'm sure you've learned a thing or two about fashion from this brilliant fashion designer. We'll go on a quick break, but when we get back, myself and Victor will be sharing some tips on how to save money. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
No, I want to keep dancing.
Okay, keep going. Are you gonna sit? Oh, that's how we do it.
Yes.
Vibe Cafe.
It
Yes.
was real fun.
Yes. I love dancing.
I love dancing too.
Yeah,
But I wish people can. No, I want people to teach me.
Okay, like
After
me?
this, you teach me.
Oh, okay, all right.
Okay. Welcome back to the show. It's still Vibe Cafe, and we're giving out tips on how to save money.
Yes.
Okay, so in this economy, Laren, how does one save money?
If you don't get money, hide your face. Yes, that's how you save money. But honestly, yeah, I think it's possible for people to save money even in this current economic situation. It's all about discipline, because the truth is, if you have little and you're unable to save it, even when you have a lot, you won't be able to save anything. Don't you think so?
But my opinion is, there are some people that are actually living from hand to mouth. So those people who find themselves in such a situation, how is it possible for them now to then save from that nothing which they have?
Well, the trick is, they said, is to save 10% of everything that you own. So if you're making as low as 2,000 naira monthly, you can take 10% of 2,000 naira. You don't have to save a lot, right? So in that process, you'll be able to save more.
So the idea is 10%.
Yes. I think the reason why most people are unable to save is because they try to live this really expensive life that they can't afford.
Yeah,
you want
beyond
to
their
live
means.
you want to live in bigger houses that you can't afford. You want to pay expensive schools, go to the best schools. You want to go on exotic vacations, and you can't afford those. So I think that's the reason most people are unable to save it. But we should all be prudent. We should all be disciplined, and we'll be able to
Yes,
do that.
but most of the excuses people give is that how much are they paying me? You
Right.
get, and then it's rampant in our economy. People want to live that lavish lifestyle. Want people to look at them as though they were something they were not. So I think if we're able to cut down on our living expenses and live within our means, that 10% just might work.
Yeah, true. All right, we've come to the end of today's episode. Make sure to follow us on our Twitter and Instagram page at Vibe Cafe Show. Tell us your questions and your comments, and even things you want us to talk about on the next episode, and we just might do that. But before we go, let's keep the conversation rolling. Okay, Victor, what's your vibe?
My vibe is hope.
Okay. I love hope, even if it's slender. So viewers, we've come to the end of today's episode. Make sure to stay in touch. Same time next week till we come your way again. Whatever your vibe is, let it be positive.